Hello, church. It's good to be able to speak with you again. It's been a strange week. I'm sure, like myself, you tuned into the Prime Minister's update on Sunday night, eager to hear what the next stages of the lockdown were. Perhaps some of you were just eager to see the restrictions eased, wanting to get out, focusing on just how much you've missed life, how much things have been taken from you since the lockdown. Perhaps some of you were just not ready or prepared or feel safe for things to change, and you were keen to understand what was going to happen. Well, there certainly has been mixed responses. Some are confused, some didn't think it was enough, were looking for more. Others felt it was clear, while some are just still concerned. Well, I interviewed Chris Shaw this week as part of just going around the church and showing you some different faces, and I asked her some questions. She just started to share, and she gave a message I wasn't expecting. But if you're feeling that the lockdown has just taken stuff away and you're not sure when or how it's going to end, then Chris has got a great message for you. Before we hand over to Chris, there's still so much of life going on in church. Remember, church is not a building. As blessed as we are to be here and have the bridge, home groups are happening. Discipleship groups are going on. United, our primary age group, had their first Zoom where they played quizzes and games, and certainly in my house they were running all over the place, having great fun. Even through Zoom, they can do that. People are still finding ways to reach out, to connect, to share how their faith is just helping them and seeing them through at this time. There's so much of our Christian life that is still happening, so be encouraged. I want to talk to you about Stay and Play. It's a group that Chris launched, as you'll hear, almost 13 years ago. And it holds a very special place in the heart of the Leeses family. Back in 2010, I was taking some time out of work. Jacob, our second son, was just 2, and I was looking after him during the day, and we were looking for things to do. So where do I come on a Wednesday, 9:30 after the school run, dropping off Samuel? We come to Stay and Play. And I met this lady who'd got a unique gift, and she made me feel so warm and so safe and so secure. And I remember her praying for me all those years ago through Stay and Play. And Stay and Play was the catalyst that brought the Lees family to Solihull Christian Fellowship. And as they say, the rest is history. So it was wonderful to be able to speak to her. And I really want to encourage you to listen to all that Chris shares and the message that Chris has. Enjoy this church. Thank you. Hi, Chris. It's great to be with you. It's good to see you. And thank you for talking to me this afternoon, Chris.
It's really good to see you and to hear your voice. Really
yeah,
good.
isn't it? So I was thinking as I was preparing for our interview, how long have you been in Solihull Christian Fellowship now?
David reckons we came in 1985, so about 35 years.
Wow.
Having been in 2 previous churches, but that's when God put us there.
Wonderful. It's been great to have you. I mean, I've been at SCF for 10 years now, and you and Dave have always been there so very faithful. Do you want to just share where the church, the sorts of things that you and Dave have done over the years?
Well, for me,
Yeah.
I've always served with children in whatever church I've been in, and because that's the joy I get from serving with children, teaching children, and being part of the Sunday teams, and that's been ongoing. But when we did join SCF, I waited a year to see if that was still God's desire for me to do, because we can carry on without permission sometimes.
Yes.
And he confirmed it, that this was where I can serve, and I think David and I both have a desire to serve.
Yeah.
And David was served in the PA team for ever since those days.
Yeah.
And he's been there doing that forever.
Wow.
And now it gives him actually great joy, I can tell this to you, to be serving as a director and helping you. So that gives him a great deal of joy as well. So
Brilliant.
serving with the children for me in some
Yeah.
form is the thing.
Wonderful. I was sharing with the church just before we came to this interview how my route into Solihull Christian Fellowship and the whole Lees family was through Stay and Play, which of course is the area that you've been overseeing. Do you want to share a little bit about Stay and Play?
Yeah, I was teaching, and 2006, 2007, I got to that point where I was really going to be broken if I carried on. It was 2 years before retirement, but we just opened our building. I resigned in that April term, and then God laid it on my heart and on Mary's that this was an area of ministry, and God just made it happen. And we started as the building opened, and it's been such a joy, and you know, I love teaching and I love contact with children. And again, something that God has given me to continue that place to be, and not just the children, but the parents and the carers and the relationships you build, the conversations that you have over years. Some people come back with other children.
Yes, so we came to the church about 10 years ago. I was taking some time out of work, and Jacob was 2. And so I was at home, and I needed stuff to do, and there was this church that I'd never been to, and they did a Wednesday Stay and Play, and I came, and I think it was the atmosphere that you created was just so warm, and so then we tried the Sunday, and as I say, the rest is history. So Stay and Play is very precious group, and is close to my heart, isn't it?
And I can remember you sharing about some of your time in Warwick and those things, because we live in Warwick, and I can remember Jacob playing in the sand and praying for you for your future, and seeking God's sovereignty over you, and that has stayed with me. That has stayed with me all those years, and you know, it's good to be in the will of God, isn't it? And we always pray at the start of Stay and Play that the Holy Spirit will be central in the room, and I think that's what the key is. And the teamwork that we have. But
absolutely. So it sounds like you're missing it, Chris.
I'm missing it terribly. I'm missing children. I'm missing my grandchildren. I'm missing the church people and being part of a team, because we are separate in Warwick. I'm not going to bump into you.
No.
I'm not going to be walking around and bumping into people.
Bless you.
So yeah, I'm really missing it. But I think there's a lesson in that, because when it all happened, it was like, now what do I do? How do I serve God? I'm all by myself. I'm not doing any of the things where I felt that I could make a difference to people's lives.
Wow.
And
so the lockdown really changed things,
It did change things. It's like all of a sudden, stop. But we've been having my daughter's dog for the last 6 months, and I've been walking early in the day and then rushing and getting on with the rest of the day. But all of a sudden I had time. So I was actually getting more into the word and spending time with the Lord. And God showed me that I needed to develop the Mary side, because I'm very much a Martha, and to sit and be still. And that's where it wasn't so much what I did, it was just being. And Karen said to me, we're called human beings for a reason, not human doings.
Wow.
So, you know, it's about being.
The lockdown seems to have taken a lot away. You know, there's also been some positives, hasn't there, in the fact you spend a bit more time with God.
Absolutely. And I've learned loads of stuff, things I thought I knew and I didn't know. But also, as I've walked around the local area with the dog, and certainly at 5:30 in the mornings, there was one guy I met as he was coming home from night shift. This was when it was before lockdown. And he stopped to chat to me because of the dog. And he shared a lot of the problems in his life. And I prayed with him that day because he was worried about not being able to get to sleep after night shift. So I just prayed that.
Mhm.
And I prayed for him and for this other
Mhm.
issue that he shared.
Mhm.
And I bumped into him now and again, and I bumped
Yeah.
into him with his wife, and we just chat and say hello, or we wave across the road. But this morning, when I was passing where he was going home, he stopped and he initiated a conversation
Wow.
just about, you know, everybody going back to work, and it was
Yeah.
worrying him a little bit. But we had this conversation that covered a lot of stuff, but in it there was an opportunity to share that no matter what a mess people get their lives into, that God is always waiting. Like
Mm.
and I shared the parable of the prodigal son, how the
Wow.
boy had gone with,
Gosh.
asked for his dad's the inheritance before his father died and wasted it,
Yeah.
but was willing to come back as a servant, but his
Wow.
father welcomed him with open arms. And I
Oh,
was just able to share that that was how God is with us.
wow.
And that was something Jesus wanted us to know, because he told that parable for a purpose. So God is giving me opportunities. And there's another lady I
Wonderful.
met, you know, whose husband has had Parkinson's for 37 years and can no longer swallow or speak.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't getting much respite. So I prayed with her. And I said I would pray every morning as I walk past your bungalow. And I do that every morning during my
Yeah.
morning walk, because
Yeah.
I use my morning walk to pray for local things, people I've met, but there's all those things that we hear about from SCF, about people who are ill. There are people in our care group who need prayer, and the government, and all of those things. And to me, it's a very precious time, that half hour,
Yeah.
walking as the sun comes up, and now the sun is up,
Lovely.
and
It's up early, isn't
just
it?
being able, but I can talk out loud. I can talk. I like to talk to God out loud,
Wow.
and just share with him. So, because there's not many people around.
So
So I'm getting all of those things that I missed
yes. So
of
in
sharing with people.
wow, I mean, in some ways, what lockdown took away from you,
That's right.
God has
Absolutely.
given back. Yeah.
He is definitely
O-
given back.
Okay, it's different. It's
It's
not the
different.
same. You're not coming over
No,
to the bridge at the moment. That
no.
time will pass, Chris.
Yeah,
But God, even though you thought you'd lost everything in lockdown, He's
yeah.
giving it back. Man,
That's
that is
right.
such
He's
a
given
message.
it so
Church,
much more
that's the
back.
message. Yes.
Yeah, because these are people that I didn't know very well.
Yeah.
And there's opportunity to build that relationship more.
Wow. Wow.
I think,
Gosh.
you know, where the need is.
Yeah. So it's interesting if I just reflect back, because you've done all my questions in one, you know. Lockdown seemed to take everything away, you know. There was nothing that you could do. It's almost like, who am I now? You know.
Yes, exactly that.
And then over time, what's it been, about 7 weeks now? There were some
Yeah.
positives, more time in the Word, more time with David, and now actually God seems to have starting to give things back, you know, and that's an incredible opportunity to speak to people within the community. Wow.
That's right, it is. And even, you know, just walking around, when I take the dog on his long walk, there are people you bump into that you've known from the past.
Wow.
There are people who are linked with the local church that we knew when we were part of the local church here, and we've reconnected. And you know, you just share things, and new people that you meet, who people will always talk to you if you've got a dog or a child, and I have a dog with me.
Yes.
And you know, even from the other side of the country lane, you stop and have a chat, you know. And it's just, so yes,
Brilliant.
those things that I thought I'd lost have come back.
Wonderful. Well, Chris, I feel like I could talk to you for a lot longer. It's incredible to hear of all your stories and all your testimony, and it's just that line that is just sticking with me in church. You know, what Chris has shared, what lockdown has taken, God has given back.
That's right.
And that's just not for you, Chris, is it? That is for anybody, and for
that's for all
everybody,
of us.
you know. Wow.
Yeah, and many years ago, when we were thinking of moving house, because we felt we weren't getting anywhere in some ways, and we were praying about it, and our house didn't sell actually, and I heard a voice when I was on my own that said, "I know the plans I have for you.
Yes.
Plans to prosper you.
Yeah.
Plans that are good." And I looked it up in Jeremiah, and then once we said, "Okay, we won't move, Lord," our house sold. Yeah. Within weeks, there were plans in to build some slightly bigger houses, 5, and we now live in one of those.
Wonderful.
You know, so God has a plan.
He does.
God has a
He
plan.
does. He does.
And
Oh,
we have
Chris,
to trust him.
thank you so much for all of your time. It's been great to chat to you. Can we do this again?
Yeah, I'm
Really?
sure I can find something else to tell you.
Well, Chris, thanks ever so much, and I'll look forward to speaking to you soon. Bless you.
Great to hear that from Chris. What the lockdown has taken, God has given back. And maybe you're feeling like that the lockdown has taken so much away. The ability to see your friends, the ability to hold and hug your grandchildren, to just go out and pop to the shops. Maybe your holiday plans are changed. Maybe the lockdown has taken your confidence. Maybe it's taken your security. Maybe it's taken your peace. Or the message from Chris and the message, I believe, from God is what the lockdown has taken, God can give back. And I just pray that you would seek his face, that you would seek his countenance, and that you would allow God to give you back everything lockdown has stolen. Church, it's been great to speak to you. See you soon. Bye-bye.